Hello and welcome to our Fitness Pro Chat session by Fiterobic. Fitness Pro Chat by Fiterobic is an initiative that aims to educate, assist, and guide everyone to adopt a healthy and a fit lifestyle. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Sunil Shetty, the fitness expert and ultramarathoner. Sunil is a well-known face in the fitness community and has some remarkable records to his credit, including finisher at 100K in 24 hours, 36 hours, and 48-hour races. He has been a podium finisher at multiple running events. Sunil, along with his wife Sangeeta, holds record for first couple in India to run 100 kilometers in 24 hours, 36 hours, and 48-hour races. He is also the brand ambassador for some of the leading races in India, including NEB Sports, which organizes multiple races in India. Welcome, Sunil, to our Fitness Pro chat today.
Hi, Alok, and thank you very much for having me here as your first guest to this show. Because, I'm also looking forward to a good interactive session today with you.
Perfect. So, Sunil, well, it seems we are in for a fitness marathon today. So, without wasting much time, let's get
Yeah.
started with an engaging discussion. So, all of us are eager to learn how and when did you start your fitness journey and why did you choose running?
My journey started in March of 2003. So this is actually my 20th year into running. And the reason I started running is, of course, I was overweight. I was almost 100 kgs of weight. I'm in a corporate life, traveling 10 to 15 days in a month across the country, staying out of hotels, eating all the hotel food for, breakfast, lunch, dinner, for 10, 15 days a month. Obviously, those are the main reasons why I had put on so much of weight. And obviously, I wanted to shed that excess baggage what I was carrying, and I felt running was the easiest of everything, all other physical activities. I felt
Yes.
reason being, you can go wherever you're traveling. You can just go out and run. You just need a decent pair of shoes. That's all what you need. And and of course, even after 20 years, I still believe running is one of the easiest of the physical activities to start, whether it's for fitness, for health reasons, or anything you say. So that's exactly where it started. All of it.
Perfect. I mean, I would say this could be a great starting point for many of people who actually are trying to start or get into running, or if, who look forward to different runners out there early morning on the roads to get into fitness activities. Another one for you. So COVID actually had put the focus back on the importance of staying fit, and every one of us really feel right now that it's important to stay fit and healthy. So how do you think people can adapt to a fitter lifestyle without, say, getting into a lot of without a lot of spending a lot of money or getting into buying stuff that they may not really need, or that may end up in some corner of their houses?
Yeah, you're right, Alok. Pandemic, taught us many things. Apart from getting into a fitter, a healthier lifestyle, there were a lot of learnings. And I'm sure, uh, all of us, even right now, also we are learning so many things because we still can't say 100% that it's over. Pandemic. Initially, I maybe most of us we felt when people were involved in outdoor activities, whether this is the end of it or how do we take this forward. But then I think most of us we looked out at options how best to utilize this time. You're working from home or you're inside the house most of the time, bearing the bare necessities you go outside. And yeah, running obviously stopped. That's not possible. And I'm not somebody who likes to do indoor running. In fact, I'm
Yes.
also against indoor running as such.
Yeah.
But then, something had to be done. to stay fit. And obviously, like, you know, I mean, health and fitness were top priorities during a pandemic so that you don't contract COVID-19. And the way I started is I started doing stair workout. I mean, I still didn't have to go outside the building. So the stairs is something like, you know, I started doing 3 days a week. The other 3 days I started with indoor workouts. I mean, though I've been, I mean, my fitness journey started almost 20 years back. But I have, like, you know, not even a single day I'd worked out indoor in this long journey. So it was always like, you know, I mean, I used to go 2 to 3 days a week to the gym. And I mean, forced to work indoors, initially didn't know much what to do, how to do about, go about. You started with body weight workouts, and then thought, like, you know, I mean, there are some basic equipments, better to buy it and get it at home. That's exactly how it started. And I the first one is I fixed a pull-up bar in the house. Bought a couple of dumbbells of various weights, kettlebell, ab wheel roller, resistance band. Some of the, as I said, like, you know, basic things which
Basic
at
things.
least, yeah, bare necessity, like, you know, at least to have an, I mean, I won't call it as an indoor gym. I mean, I'm far away from that, but it does help me to work out at least. I mean, for me, like, you know, I mean, I get that satisfaction, like, you know, only if I work around 1.5 to 2 hours. I mean, that's how my workout schedules are. So that started with 3 days of indoor workout, 3 days of stairs, and yeah, I mean, I never felt the need, like, you know, to go out for a run. I mean, I know, like, you know, many of them still were going in the dark for their runs and all, but I never missed a single day. I mean, to be honest, I never missed even a single day, like, you know, that I'm missing my runs or anything, because it whatever I wanted, like, you know, I could get out of runs.
Perfect, perfect. I think that would definitely give all of us a lot of insights into how we can utilize a lot of smaller stuff, especially when it comes to fitness. All of us has this mindset that gym is the only place that we can get fit.
Yeah.
Home never comes on top of our heads that we can even get fitter at home. And especially stairs is one very, I would say, one of the easiest exercises that
Yeah.
most people have. I would say in some way or the other they have adopted these days, where they climb stairs,
Yeah.
and then they practice it almost on a daily basis. And some of this really helps to help with endurance or stamina building. So I'm sure. If you could please talk more on how actually stairs can doing stairs exercises can also help people to build up their stamina and endurance, especially for the runners, because I mean, you have been, I would say, an iconic runner so definitely I would want to listen from you on how stairs can help runners.
Actually, like, you know, I mean, we most of us, we ignore the importance of stair workout. Yeah, it definitely I mean, helps in building endurance and stamina, and also, like, you know, I mean, the elevation gain what you get. So what I do, and I advise people of, I mean, everybody is not very comfortable climbing the stairs, irrespective of whatever the number of floors they have in their building and all. So I suggest people, like, you know, one of the best ways to do is you climb up, and while coming down, maybe you take this lift or the elevator. I mean, that's what I tell people. One thing which has to be noted is, like, you know, I mean, most of the injuries which happen. I mean, people do speak about, like, you know, even stair climbing can lead to injuries. I mean, it's nothing but, like, you know, something you're doing on a hill workout or something like that. But what people don't understand is most of the injuries happen when you're climbing down the stairs or when you're coming down the hill or coming down the incline. That's where, like, you know, if you're climbing a hill or an incline or a stairs, like, you know, I mean, the chances of injuries is very, very rare in that. So that's something, like, you know, people need to keep in mind. So The other mistake most of them they do is like when they are coming down the stairs they tend to run faster or walk faster. That should be avoided. That's where like that's a sure recipe for your knee injuries and all. So when you're coming down also like I mean the landing should be soft. Come slowly. Let your heart rate come down because when we climb the stairs obviously the HR goes up. So take it as something like as a recovery when you're coming down rather than rushing down fast. Or as I said earlier, like I mean, the best way is take an elevator and you come down and then you keep climbing up. That's one of the best way. It's actually one of the best workouts to do. I mean, if somebody can incorporate it once a week in their weekly training schedule, nothing like it.
Great, great, great. I think that's like a great advice, especially for the starters, because most people start with stairs and then they combine coming down on the stairs as well, which actually causes injury and then also pulls back on consistency.
Yeah.
Here's one on the consistency, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of insights to share on this. Like one of the biggest challenges to staying fit is lack of consistency, and it happens even to, I would say, some of the most professional athletes as well. Because of various other challenging schedules. So most people start, but somewhere down the line they miss the bus. It would be great if you could talk more about what keeps you motivated to go out and run and work out every day. You talked about 6 day schedule some time ago. So we definitely want to understand your workout schedule. What keeps you motivated to go out and perform workout activities every day?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the key. Like, I mean, if you're not consistent, like, I mean, that's where the trouble starts. I mean, not just in fitness or running, but anything in life, you take it up as like, and if you're not consistent enough, that's where the trouble starts. I mean, I typically advise like even a 5 day schedule is good enough. I mean, not necessarily like one has to do 6 days a week. Uh, you have time like people like me do of course like 6 days a week. Uh, Getting remain. I mean, motivation is something like that has to come from within. Is what I would say. Yeah, it's not. Uh, I mean, I don't look out for like outside motivation. No, I mean, not that like I mean, there are not enough inspiring people outside. But for me, like it comes from within, and that's exactly what I advise others also. Like I mean, don't look out outside. It has to come within. I mean, it should be one of the priorities for you in life. The way we have so many priorities in life, whether it's profession, family, various other stuff, and all, education, career, and all. So fitness is also one of the topmost priorities for us. And I mean, however busy you could be, like I mean, taking out 45 minutes, 4 to 5 days in a week. I'm sure, like any one of us can get that done. I mean, I do travel even in my current profession. I travel quite a lot. I mean, there are times like I travel 15 days in a month. I'm outside. But irrespective of that, I mean, I'm still someone like who will find that 1 hour to 1.5 hours time and go out from either the run or maybe I'll go hit the hotel gym. Any one of it. Like, so that's something. I mean, I still firmly believe like it's everything to do with being consistent.
Awesome. I mean, I would say that's really great to hear from you because I know. I mean, most people aspire to reach, for say, 4 to 5 days, and you are doing it 6 days consistently every day. And as you said, it needs to come from within. Yes, I definitely would agree to that. It needs to come from within. And I'm sure. I mean, a lot of people would be reaching out to you when you post all these pictures on Instagram or Facebook
Of course, yeah.
for tips and what keeps you going. So any say interesting incident where that comes to your mind that you want to share with everyone?
No, I mean, you're right. Like, I do get DMs on a daily basis, in fact. And I mean, I do reply to all of them. Maybe sometimes, like, if I'm too busy with my travel or something else, like, I may take a day. There could be a delay by a day, but otherwise, like, I'm someone who on the same day, like, would reply to most of these queries and all. But uh, people trying to understand or people trying to gain some knowledge or trying to take tips is very much understandable. Like, I mean, when I was very new in my initial years, like, when I used to reach out to some senior people asking for tips and all. But
Yes,
unfortunately, like, people are more interested in, like, how to get a six-pack abs and all. So those are
I
something
agree.
like why
Yeah.
people are obsessed. I mean, though I have a decent abs, like, but I'm not someone who's obsessed about it. It just happened maybe accidentally due to my workouts and all. But I don't think that obsession is
Yeah,
needed.
I mean,
I mean but most of the questions do come on that, and then people will ask, like, whether to get good abs, you're not supposed to eat so and so thing. You're not supposed to have enough salt intake, water, beer, whatever. Like, I mean, a lot of myths associated also, like,
absolutely.
for having deep abs and all. And I tell everyone, like, I eat everything, I drink everything, and I do whatever I want. So I don't follow any of those guidelines, like, to have decent abs.
Awesome. I mean, just a pickup from that itself. So, how does the nutrition looks like, especially you being running ultra marathons and then doing say 100K? So, what sort of nutrition do you feel someone who is aspiring to be part of that community to run 100K say in 24 hours or 36 hours? What kind of nutrition or how should they plan their nutrition towards such events?
Well, I firmly believe and I firmly advise also people, like, I mean, your home cooked food is the best food. Like, nothing can even come closer to that. There's no reason to also go for supplements and all. I'm not someone, like, who also take supplements and all. Not because I don't believe. I mean, supplements are good. Obviously, they are good,
Yes.
like, but provided you need them. I mean,
Yes.
if there's no
Absolutely.
requirement, there's no, I mean, just because, like, the products are available in the market or you see your friends consuming some either protein supplement or some other supplements and all, just don't go after that. Uh, uh, Analyze yourself whether do you need that with the kind of workouts what you're doing. I always tell people, like, take professional guidance also in these matters, like, because there could be some products, some supplements which may not suit you also. So
Yeah.
be aware of that. Now, coming to your point on if somebody wants to aspiring to be an ultra marathoner, wanting to run 100K, 24 hours, anything. Yeah, food definitely plays a very important role. And again, repeating what I said, like, your home cooked food, like, irrespective whatever it is, those are the best. We need to have enough of carbs and protein in the food what we intake. And if you're able to balance that, you don't need to look out for anything else.
Absolutely. I think that's a great piece of advice to all of us. So, what according to you should be the mantra who wants to get into running but are struggling with their schedule, maybe office or some personal things going on? So, what's your guidelines to people who want to begin or get into running?
See, one is before you get into that, you need to be very clear whether you want to take up running just for health and fitness reason, or you want to get into competitive running at a later stage. So that's something important. Of course, like, I mean, good old days back. I mean, most of us we started running just for health and fitness reasons. Most of us never thought about, like, we'll be running marathons or ultra marathons in life. But today the world has changed. Like, today people get into running. They're already very clear, like, I mean, I want to be competing in marathons or at least running marathon races and all. So if your motive is only, like, to stay fit, then even a 3 day runs of anywhere like 5, 6, 7 kilometers per day is good enough. I mean, you don't need to run more than 6, 7 kilometers if your motive is only to I mean only for health and fitness purpose. If you want to start running, uh, but someone who wants to take it seriously to the next level of running, then yeah, I mean anywhere around like I mean 4 to 5 days is more than enough in a week. And added to that, strength training. I mean, you obviously don't need to go to a gym to your strength training workouts. You can do it at home also. So that's something like one needs to incorporate in the training schedule, because uh, obviously like after some months or after some years, you'll be running half marathons, full marathons, and all. And if you don't do enough of strength training, like you'll not last. I mean, that's where most of the injuries also start. So
Yes.
lower body workout, having a strong core workout, they are very important for runners. And depending on what you want to be, I mean, just because like I mean there are full marathons, there are ultra marathons. It's not necessary to do everything in life.
Yes.
One needs to decide. I mean, I have so many friends, very good runners. I would put them as some people like who are even much far better runners than me. So they have all these years they have stuck to half marathons, because for them like a full marathon has never been of interest. So it's good, like I mean that's what I'm trying to say. One needs to decide and not get like I mean carried over by what you see outside. Obviously, like I mean full marathons, ultra marathons, that's different level, different ball game totally. Where only if you have that much of time with you, like you can devote to the training. Only then you should go about for that. I mean, if you're hard pressed for time for whatever reason, like whether it's personal or professional and all, then I mean, ultra marathons is not something like you should even look at.
Absolutely. I mean that's a very good, I would say, insight, because what happened when people generally start, and I mean I remember when I started running 5 years ago, I was also of the view. I mean, I have to go for marathon, but then suddenly I realized no, I must try and stick myself either to say half marathons or 10K, and not go immediately, because I may need to
Yeah,
see because whether my body is ready to run a full marathon
exactly.
or not. It's not about feeling pride, but it's more about feeling what your body requires. So I mean that's really good.
And the best is like I mean don't get carried over by what you see on social media and all. I mean most
Absolutely,
of it is like we know it's not reality, so let's not even get carried over by that.
absolutely. So here's another one for you. So and I think you all already talked about it in some sense. So what would you suggest to everyone who are struggling with consistency? I mean, we talked about consistency. So what are your suggestions who are unable to people who are unable to find time for fitness? And I mean, it's been a common excuse that we
Yeah.
come across in every homes, that I don't have time, I am busy with something else. But how do you think, or what are your suggestions or say guidelines that people can may start with? Okay, try and do these three things initially to get into a fit lifestyle.
As I said, like I mean 40, 45 minutes time is something that's very much possible for anybody to take out from their busy schedule. But I mean, let's assume like I mean you have to start your work very early in the day. You have to leave home for office very early in the day,
Yes.
and not somebody like who can even remove that 40, 45 minutes in the mornings. So for such people, I do say like I mean evening workout is also good enough. I mean, I'm sure like if you can't do it in the morning, at least in the evening you can make up for that. Uh, if you think like if you don't have an access to a gym closer to your house, indoor thing. I mean, right now last 2 years, like I mean after I started the indoor workouts, I mean I've continued with that. In fact, I have a gym in my own building. So it's not something like, I mean, it's just 50 meters from my house. Like, I just have to walk 50 meters to go to the gym. But in spite of that, now I'm very much happy doing it in my house. I do go to the, I mean, last 2, 3 weeks, like, I just started going back to the gym, but it's again just for the treadmill running, not for workouts and all. So I don't know. I mean, I still fail to understand when people say, like, I mean, they don't have time. I mean, 45 minutes in a day is something like, I mean, it should be very easily one can. I'm not suggesting, like, it should be at the cost of your sleep. Yeah, I mean, unless and until, like, you're somebody who sleeps, like, 8, 9 hours a day, then you can reduce that sleeping
Yes.
time. But
Okay.
otherwise, we have enough time, like, maybe reduce your time on the social media, reduce your TV watching time or Netflix or Hotstar and all. So you can definitely. I mean, 3 to 4 days. I'm not talking about, like, 5, 6 days. 5, 6 days is only when you want to go to the next level in fitness and running and all. But otherwise, like, 3 days a week is good enough.
So would you also say that it would be good to say break down if someone is not getting say 45 minutes at a stretch, so they can say maybe do it say 15 minutes in the morning and then another 15 minutes in the evening. Even that work would work, or is it has to
Yes,
be
this
at
is
a
it.
continuous?
No, it will definitely work, but the only difference is, like, I mean, uh, if you're serious about running, I mean, just giving an example, whether it's cycling or running, if you're serious about that, then that may not be enough. But if it's only for health and fitness reasons, like, even if you can break it into 20 minutes, like, twice or thrice a day, that's still good enough. I mean, I also go to the extent of telling people, like, I mean, uh, if you feel like, you can only give 20 minutes on a particular day, that's still better than not doing anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very nice. Yeah, so another one here for you is, and coming to an important part. So I'm sure many runners like me would be interested to learn from you about how to prepare for marathons, especially. And then I'm talking more from, say, half marathons and full marathons. So, how did you start training for marathons in your initial years? You mentioned you started it in 2003. So, how did you start training for marathons in initial year? Did you follow any training plan? Or now I understand. I mean, it must be coming to you naturally out of running so many races. So, what? How did you get into this? And then what was your training plan initially, and something that all of us can follow and look forward to?
See, unlike now, when I started running, we never had anything called a 10-kilometer race. I mean, today we have, like, 5K races, 10K races, and all. But when I started, I mean, the starting point itself was a half marathon. So
Oh,
so you have that whatever you did, and like many, like, even I struggled. I mean, I'm honest enough to accept that, like, even my first 2 years, I mean, my first half marathon and my first those days we didn't have that gradual progression from a half to a full marathon. So
yeah.
we had to start with half and then, like, immediately go into the full uh, part of it. Uh,
Okay.
but
Okay.
today it's very easy since we have so many 5K, 10K races, and also people can take it gradually. I always advise people, like, to do a couple of 10K runs races before starting your, I mean, going into a half marathon. Similarly, like, do couple of half marathons before you get into the full marathon. I mean, should not be like, you're done just one 10K race and you want to do a next is a half marathon, and then you do one half marathon, then next take it as, because I mean, these races are very different. I mean, a full marathon is not just, like, a half marathon multiplied by two. I mean, if you ask me,
Okay.
like, the effort level could be almost 4 times of a half marathon. That's exactly, like, what you need to do in the full marathon. Uh,
Okay.
I advise people that they should actually at least 3 months in advance they should plan out what are the races they want to do. It should not happen a race is announced next
Yeah.
week and you want to do, or you just decide 1 week before you want to do a half or a full marathon. No, it's not that easy. I mean, exceptions of course there I mean there are some people who can just go and run a half or a full. Uh, but as I said, those are all exceptions. I mean, we should not fall into that. So plan out well in advance. I mean, 3 months is what I generally tell. Make your schedule. If you don't have a coach, it's fine. It's not necessary to have a coach, but you can make your own weekly schedule in terms of what are the runs you want to do. I mean, today, everything is available on the net, and they are good ones. I mean, I can vouch for that. I mean, some of the coaches, some of their plans, which is available online, they are really good and they are big names actually. Some of these coaches also, so people
Yes.
can just download one of it and follow a schedule. But again, coming back to the same old word what we spoke earlier, consistency. I mean, one need to be consistent enough. Exceptions are fine, once or twice, in a month, you're not been able to follow that schedule. That's perfectly fine. We all are human beings. It's not something we'll be able to stick 100% to a plan, but
Yes.
try to stick as much as possible. Even if you're able to execute 80% of that schedule, it's very good, is what I would say. But planning about it, keeping a log sheet. I mean, that's something else. I talk about. It's always good to keep maintain a log sheet, whether you do it on an Excel format or whatever is convenient for you. But maintain that. It does help one to do proper planning, scheduling. Also, going back later, I mean, in terms of what I had done good or what I had done wrong in my earlier planning. So it does help.
I think we are almost done. So, any key takeaways for all of us today before we wrap up this session for everyone?
Yeah, I specific to fitness, running, and all. I mean, some of the things which I firmly believe and I advise everyone is I mean, don't get too over obsessed with whatever you're doing. I mean, because that's something can kill you later. Actually, so I mean, take fitness, take health, take running or cycling or any other activity, whatever you're doing. I mean, that's one of the priorities in life. What you have, that I mean, don't be so obsessed that everything else revolves around it. Because that will
Absolutely.
obviously affect your personal life, your family life, your profession and all. So just take it as one of the priorities in life. Try to be as consistent as possible. I mean, yeah, there are off days for all of us. So if those are exceptions, I mean, that's fine. But 3 to 4 days a week, if somebody can devote for these activities, I mean, nothing like it. And most important part is one needs to be as much as possible injury free. That usually comes with, I mean, I just use the word common sense. I mean, we are not professionals. I mean, people like us, I mean, cannot even aim to go and represent India, maybe at a world level and all. So if that is the case, I mean, so know your limitations, know your capabilities and all. So for us, as I keep saying, I mean, this is one of the priorities. We are not those professional athletes, whose bread and butter is with running or in fitness or anything. So try to be more, try to use more of this common sense, when it comes to it. I mean, even a small niggle, small pain here and there, don't try to run with injuries. I mean, it's better to rest off a few days and then get back. And all of us, go through a fatigue and all, depending on the intensity of workouts we do. So that's again something watch out for. I mean, it's very common for the body and the muscles to get fatigue and all. And that those are the days maybe you need to do some easy workouts, easy runs and all, and not do back to back high intensity workouts and all. So if
Exactly.
somebody all these things in mind, I'm sure, like, I mean, if someone like me, like, even after completing 19 years, and as I said, 20th year into fitness and running and all, I'm still as passionate as what I was, like, 15 years back, 20 years back. So that's the only recipe. Otherwise, there's nothing, like, I mean, any secret about it.
Thank you, Sunil, for such insightful session today, and thanks so much for joining today. I
And
definitely would love to speak to you again in future. And
sure.
thank you everyone for your time. It is a pleasure to host all of you. Thank you from all of us at Fiterobic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alok, and wishing you the best in your new venture.